First and foremost, I want to thank you for coming this morning, and then I want to welcome this lovely family of yours, DJ. Sarah, Abigail, Luke, your father and mother, Dan and Marianne, sorry about that. Welcome. Welcome to our family, and we're looking forward to great things to come here. So, prior to beginning this extensive search, we had this process and we outlined the qualities of what we wanted in our next football coach. The qualities included having a strong and dynamic leader with a great energy for our program, an innovative football mind, being engaging and have a great personality that would appeal to our fan base and to our donors and to our alumni. We wanted somebody with a strong background who had a great winning pedigree, and we wanted somebody who was going to be a national and a great recruiter. Most importantly, though, we wanted somebody who had a winning attitude and came from a winning culture. The other thing was that we wanted somebody who was going to build these young men to be strong role models and achieve academically in the classroom. So, through this extensive search, we found that person, the right person for our job, and that is DJ Durkin. DJ's been a coordinator of defenses that have been ranked among the top 15 in the nation for 3 years, including Michigan this year, and we were on the bad side of that shutout. He had 3 consecutive shutouts, which I think never happened in Michigan's history before. He helped lead teams to 5 consecutive bowl appearances. His defense is the primary reason that Michigan was ranked number 10 this season. The 4 recruiting classes he worked with at the University of Florida were ranked amongst the top 11 in the nation, and he was acknowledged and rewarded as being Recruiter of the Year for that year. His last 3 years in Florida, he had 4 first-round draft choices. While in Florida, he recruited 9 5-stars that played on the defensive side of the ball. Most impressive with DJ is he's worked with tremendous people. Jim Harbaugh, Urban Meyer, Tyrone Willingham, Dan Quinn, and David Shaw. He comes from the most prestigious football programs in this country. Ladies and gentlemen, our new football coach, DJ Durkin.
Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate it. Thanks everyone for being here. It's amazing the turnout we've had. This is really cool. I've been waiting for this day for a long time, preparing for it, and it's finally here. And to say the least, I'm very excited. I want to thank Dr. Lowe, Kevin Anderson, Damon Evans, the entire search committee. It was a very thorough process. It was an enjoyable process. I think we learned a lot about one another. At the start of it and going into it, and I think, obviously coming out on the back end, it was a good marriage, I think, on both sides of it. So I'm very thankful for that. I would like to also take a minute and thank Jim Harbaugh and the University of Michigan. I can't tell you enough how supportive Jim and his staff and Jim Hackett, they've all been throughout this entire process, and everyone knows him as a great coach, and he's an even better person. And so very fortunate for the time I was able to spend with him. I would like to take a minute. I know Kevin already introduced, but we have some special people to me here that I'd like to introduce. This is my wife, Sarah. She's right there in front. I truly believe the way this goes in coaching, your wife is every bit a part of the job as you are, and that's how we attack this thing. This is our job, our profession, and there's no one better than Sarah. You have to have a special woman, special lady to be your wife, be a coach's wife, and so she's the best. Yeah. And then, give her a hand. All right. Sitting next to Sarah is Abigail. Abigail's 5 years old, going on 17. She also has her opinions about it, and when I broke the news to Abigail that we were going to be moving again, and she was excited about that, and I explained to her it is for a head coaching job, and I thought she'd be pretty excited about that, which she was, and then she didn't take much time to look right at me and go, it's about time you become a head coach. So I guess I've been disappointing her all along, but finally got that done. So, and then we have Luke here. Luke is 2 years old. He'll be 3 in February, and he will be jumping out of his seat within the next 30 seconds. So everyone just bear with us on that. There's Luke. I also have my mom and dad here with us, Dan and Mary Ann Durkin. And very, very, very fortunate to have great parents that have been very supportive all along, and to have them here today is very special to me. I guess the next obvious question is, okay, why Maryland? Why are you here? And to me, it was an easy one. I think personally, I really identify with this program. I think this is a blue-collar place, a blue-collar university, a blue-collar program. I think we compete in one of the best divisions, best conferences in the country, and I embrace competition. I want to recruit guys that embrace that competition. So to me, it's an easy sell. People make places what they are. I have found that out throughout my time in coaching. I've been fortunate to be involved with some great programs, great universities. But each one of those places, it's the people that make them what they are. And just going through the process with everyone in the search committee and the administration from Kevin on down, and just everyone's in alignment and pushing in the same direction and really wanting this thing to go. And just great people. I mean, I just got that feeling all the way through it, and so just couldn't wait to be a part of it. On the field, I'm sure we get plenty of questions of what we're going to be like on the field and all that, and I don't know how specific we'll be with that, but I just a couple things with our program. We're going to bring in quality student athletes. They're going to help us compete for championships. I mean, that's what we're all here for. All right, we need guys that they can help us win on the field and compete for championships and be quality young men. We're going to bring in guys that want to get degrees and want to graduate, guys that are motivated to do that, and we're going to help them with that motivation and graduate them. And lastly, we're going to prepare guys for life after football, whether that's in the NFL or some other profession. That is our job. I take that responsibility very seriously. The reason Sarah and I are in this profession and what we're doing is to help young men and be around people and help them somehow have confidence and have success in their life. And so that's what our program is going to do. We will be aggressive in everything we do. If there's anything about my history and where I've been and been able to coordinate and coach, we are the aggressors. So we're going to be aggressive in everything we do. So offensively, defensively, special teams, in the classroom, in off-season workouts, we will be aggressive in everything we do. And like I said, I truly believe in being a blue-collar, hard-working team. And I think you can out-effort people. I think you can out-effort people on the field and off the field in what you do. And that's what I know. That's where I'm from the ground up back my hometown in Youngstown, Ohio. I've learned those values a long time ago, and that's what we'll be. And so, with that, I will open this up to any questions.
Guys, we'll take questions. Just raise your hand. Please state your name and affiliation and wait for the microphone. Questions?
Kim?
DJ Daniel Gowan from the Baltimore Sun. When you look at this program and coming here, when you look at what's already in place and what's been done over the past few years, what about it right now makes it an attractive job? And with what's in place, is there anything that you've looked at now that you're thinking about keeping place moving forward, or is it a little too early for that?
Yeah, I mean, the attraction of this job is I think there's already good talent in the building, and I think right in our backyard is one of the richest talent areas in the country. I think we have to do a great job of recruiting and keeping those guys close to home. But that's our job as coaches, go recruit and go like crazy and do it. And anytime you have that advantage in your backyard, you have a strong enough pool where you can field a team from that. I think is a huge advantage because there's not a lot of those places in the country. And so I think competing in our conference in the division we're in, like I said, I see it as a huge positive. We want guys that want to go play in those games. We want guys that embrace that challenge and want to go play in those types of atmospheres, those games, and that's what we get to do week in and week out with where we're at.
Win Stubbs from the Washington Post. Do you have a timeline of when you might fill out your staff, and how much of a priority is to do that quickly, to hit the ground running, recruiting, and to get everything up and going?
Yeah, not quickly. I'm going to be very deliberate about it. as the right guys come forward, we'll keep working with it as we move forward. We're in the middle of a recruiting period right now, and we have a group of guys on staff here that are currently working in recruiting that I need to get with and go through the board with them on. But we're going to do this right and get the right people in here. With our staff, we're going to get people that have a purpose, good people, good family men that understand the game and understand what we're going to be all about in this program. And however long that takes to get them is how long we'll take to do it.
DJ over here, not to your right, Alex Kirshner with Testudo Times. I'm curious, and Kevin just mentioned some of the coaches that you've worked with before. What qualities do you hope to take from the Urban Meyers and the Jim Harbaughs that you can apply here? And also just quickly, have you given thought to if you'll be coaching a bowl game with Michigan?
Yeah, okay, so, it's funny, as coaches, I've been very fortunate to be around some of the best there is. As coaches, you always take bits and pieces from people you've worked for, worked with. You're always learning, you're always evolving. So I mean, there's a long list of things that I've learned from the gentleman you've mentioned, as well as the other guys I've worked with and worked for. And I think the most important thing as a coach is you put your own stamp on it, your own personality. You don't try and be someone else and do it just the way they did it, because do it the way you want to do and what's true to yourself. And so that's how we'll operate here. And obviously those are great guys that I've learned from and will continue to lean on and communicate with. And that's all part of it. In terms of the bowl game, I will not be coaching the bowl game at Michigan. I said to the players earlier today when we had a team meeting, just so, and obviously we're all getting to know each other here in this room. I am a all-in type of guy, and to me, it's if I'm here, I'm here. And so I think splitting between would have been really hard for me to do, and I'm here and want to go do it. And again, I can't say enough about the support that University of Michigan and Jim Harbaugh, Jim Hackett, everyone has had for me to allow me to go do that, and also the players at Michigan. I mean, those guys were phenomenal. They really bought in and did a heck of a job this year, and I'm going to miss those guys and know they'll do a great job in the game.
DJ, right straight in front of you here. Sorry, straight in front of you. Pat Donahue from Terrapin Sports Report. First off, congratulations. And secondly, you were named the National Recruiter of the Year in 2012 by Rivals.com. What makes you such an effective recruiter? And you mentioned, wanting to bring in guys who embrace the competition of the Big Ten East. What are some other qualities you're looking for in the guys you want to bring in? Yeah, I think recruiting it's one of those things you got to do every single day. You got to be relentless and tireless about it. And I think, again, like I said about coaching, I think you just be yourself. Some guys are fast talkers and salesmen, all that, and some guys are everyone has their own way. And in my ways, I'm very straightforward and honest with people, and I'm just I'm genuine with my dealings with them, and just keep going through it. I think the year you mentioned about being named Recruiter of the Year and all, and obviously anytime you're named those types of awards. It's rewarding, it's exciting, but you know what? There's so many people that go into recruiting a guy, to actually signing a guy. I mean, it's kind of a humbling thing to say, that wasn't me. I mean, we had an entire recruiting staff, not to mention the rest of the coaches on that staff that did a phenomenal job, all part of it. Obviously, the head coach is a huge part of it. There's so many people that go into it, and that's the recruiting process has become that. There's so many people involved. It's got to be a total team effort, and that year in particular, and in all years, that it really was.
DJ, Don Marcus from the Baltimore Sun.
Okay.
Your familiarity with guys like coaches like Urban Meyer, Jim Harbaugh, and even coaching, in the Big Ten this year. You talk about competing for championships. You obviously know how difficult that will be. What gives you the feeling that you can do that at a place like the University of Maryland?
Yeah, I think it all starts with any good organization has proper alignment. I think if from the top down, if you have alignment and a culture where everyone's pushing in the same direction, the sky's the limit. You can accomplish anything. In our industry in particular, now talking about football, again with our recruiting base and in our backyard, I know we recruit the right talent to be here, and so. You mix an organization that's aligned right, a healthy culture. I mean, we are going to be energy equals production. So this entire building will be filled with high energy people that are excited about coming to work and go do it from the top on down. And you get a group of people doing that, and everyone pushing in the same direction. That's really hard to stop. And that's the intent.
DJ, David Lamonaco, Terrapin Times, right in front of you, Coach. How soon, obviously, open recruiting period now, how soon are you going to be hitting the road with your assistants, and where do you plan on going?
Yeah, we'll be hitting it soon. Where I'm going, not totally set yet. We're going through that here later today. We're going to sit down and meet and go through that and strategize the best ways to do that. And so, the biggest thing for me is getting on the phone with the guys that we're actively recruiting, and as well as getting new guys on board, and then just hit the ground running. We're right in the middle of a contact period, so we got to take advantage of this time.
DJ over here on your right, Craig Heist from 106.7 The Fan. In your mind, having coached in this league now, in this conference, what kind of players do you specifically look for now as you recruit, put things together? What kind of player does it take to win in this conference?
I think the overall thing, no matter where you are, and I wish I had, if I had the formula to figure this out all the time, 100%, I mean, be pretty darn good. But I think you're trying to find guys that are competitive. I think that's the characteristic that carries over anything. We've all seen a guy ranked 4 or 5 star, and he goes wherever and never quite pans out to what everyone thought he was going to be. And then you see the unheralded guy that was a 2 or 3 star that goes and becomes an All-American. And you look at it and go through it, and what's the difference? I think guys that are competitors, they find a way to get to the top. Whatever environment they're in, they're going to fight and scrap and somehow get to the top of that environment. And those are the types of guys we're looking for in this conference. Obviously, when we know we have stiff competition in this conference, let's get a bunch of guys that embrace competition, embrace adversity, like savor those moments and enjoy that, and want to go do great things. And so that's getting to know guys in the recruiting process, ask the right questions, get a feel for them, and then you get a room full of them, and you're pretty good.
Hey DJ, Childs Walker with the Baltimore Sun. This is kind of a two-parter. First of all, people who know you always talk about your incredible energy level, and I think you've talked about it too. Where do you inherit that from? That would be part one, and and then part two. Can you maybe cite a few specific ways in which you were shaped by growing up in Boardman, Ohio?
Okay, good questions. I'm not quite sure where the energy comes from or whatever. I just I don't know. I think I've always kind of been that way as a player, as a coach. I'm sure there's probably some stories we can go through, maybe good or bad. But I think at the end of the day, I truly believe just being yourself. So I don't think it's again, everyone has to be high energy or whatever it is. Just be yourself. That's me. And that's who I am every day. And I think being positive and being confident with what you're doing. I think those are good things. I think where I come from, yeah. I mean, what a great area to learn. What blue collar mentality is all about, and what hard work is, and you gotta earn your keep, and that goes from the upbringing of my parents. That goes from the people I've worked with growing up in high school. I've had a job and always learned a lot of those values from there. With Polanyi Construction, that's good company there. Those guys, but you learn that. I mean, you just learn how you got to work and be blue collar, and you know what? Don't talk about it, just be about it.
DJ, Chris Marks, CTV, Prince George's Television. Back to recruiting. Obviously, University of Maryland, located right here in Prince George's County. Obviously, some great talent here in the county. How do you hope to keep some of those top-notch players here and bring them to the University of Maryland?
Recruiting is all about relationships, and relationships are built through time, through adversity, through you go through circumstances together, and so I just plan on just starting from day one and just being consistent and continue to build those relationships. I don't think there's any magic thing to say or call and all of a sudden win everyone over. It's just that they're going to understand. They're going to get consistent feedback from myself and my staff. They're going to get consistent effort on our end recruiting, evaluation, and they're going to get honest feedback and honest evaluations from us. And just start to cultivate and continue to build those relationships. I mean, that's what it comes down to. And just eventually over time that you break into it. And then there's a sense of pride from this area and the people in it to say, you know what, we want to play for the hometown team. And you know why? Because they're darn good, and we like what they're doing on the field. I mean, that we got to hold up our end of the bargain too, and show what we're going to do. And all of a sudden, then it starts going in the right direction.
DJ, over to your left, Daniel Martin, Comcast Sportsnet. Obviously, you're a defensive guy, now being in charge of all three phases of everything, especially on the offensive side. What are some of the hurdles you have to get over, and what are some things you can do to help yourself get over those, obviously, as you continue to build your staff?
Just speaking that way, I mean, defensively and special teams wise, I mean, I have a really good, clear picture of how that'll go and what we're going to do. Offensively, I have a really clear picture of what I don't like seeing, what gives us problems, and the things. I mean, I've kept good note of that throughout the years, and so I know what I want that to look like. I think I can provide a great perspective to an offensive coordinator from that angle, from something different. I believe as a head coach, you have to coach the coaches and be involved in everything, and not just. I don't see myself as being just the defensive coordinator. I'll be involved with it all, and hire capable people that can come in and do a great job and call it and have their fingerprints on it.
DJ Dave Preston, WTOP Radio, congratulations. You played for Gary Blackney at Bowling Green. He was an assistant here. I'm wondering if you had any conversations with him as they were zeroing in on you, and also, I guess, competing in the MAC as a player. How did that prepare you as an eventual coach in the Big Ten East?
Yeah, I've not spoken to Gary about this job yet, but I will at some point. He's been a great mentor to me, and he's a great person, great coach, and I'm very thankful for the time I was able to have with him. I think the competition overall. I mean, I think playing wise, coaching wise, yeah, it all prepares you. You learn things. You learn about yourself a lot. Involved in competition and in moments of adversity, and when you're really up against it, and you also learn about the people around you. That's a lot how our staff will be shaped. Guys that I've been through it with before, so I know how they're going to respond. I mean, as many of those guys we can get on the staff, the better. And I mean, that's what you find out about yourself. And like I said, I want to fill our staff and our team with a bunch of guys that embrace that environment where it's competitive.
This is a question for Kevin. Peter Schmuck, Baltimore Sun. Kevin. The day you started this process, you seemed to be talking a lot about head coaching experience. You used the term excite the fan base. Could you talk about the process and how the job description kind of evolved for you and led to DJ?
Peter, first it was based on leadership and who was going to be the best leader for our young men. And so as I went through the process, we started to meet with many people, and at the end of the day, the person who stuck out in our mind was DJ from the very beginning. I mean, what he talked about, leadership, the energy that he had, the people that I talked to that knew him, we knew that he was the right person for our job.
This question's for DJ, Josh Stern, Inside Maryland Sports. You've mentioned the competition a lot, but was there any extra added appeal being able to go against Urban Meyer and Jim Harbaugh, two guys that you've obviously very familiar with?
Yeah. No, I mean, obviously, I mean, I know those guys very well. They're very important to me and my family. But it's like healthy competition is good. I mean, it's kind of like. You want to beat up on your brother sometimes, and then but if anyone else does, you got a problem with it. And so, no, there wasn't any extra motivation or anything that way. I just think without specific people, just the way this conference and in particular this division has shaped up and how it's gone. I mean that it's the top of the country, and so. You have an opportunity to recruit the best in the country, I believe, because the best of the best want to play in the best, and so that's where we are. That's where we play week in and week out, and those are the guys we want to be involved with recruiting, and we're gonna take our swings and fight our battles, and hopefully just keep plugging away and winning more and more.
Over here, Scott Green, Rivals.com. Having spent a month, at the end of last season, taking over for Will Muschamp and, preparing as a head coach and winning a bowl game, do you think you're better prepared for this opportunity because of that, even though you're coming in as a coordinator?
Without a doubt, 100%. It was a great experience for, although it was a short-lived amount of time, it was an unbelievable experience. Jeremy Foley's was great to me, a great guy to do that under. I appreciate him for entrusting me to do that. And it really, you never think totally that way until you sit in that seat and you have to think big picture-wise. And I think it really, if nothing else, reiterated to me what is important about coaching. I think we had a group of guys right there that went and played in a game that was, in many ways probably not what they were intending to do when their careers set out at Florida, and what they did was they came together and played really well, played a very good team, and won the game. And I truly believe that was because of relationships they had with one another, with myself and with our coaching staff. And I think that's what this all comes down to. I think it's a matter of guys, getting in a room together, believing in something bigger than themselves, and trusting one another and building those relationships. I think that's our job as coaches, and I think that particular circumstance totally illustrated that, and just again reemphasized to me how important that is.
DJ Don Marcus from the Baltimore Sun. You talked about recruiting, getting on the road. Has any determination made about Mike Loxley in his role, if he's going to stay on? And do you have to almost plan one way or the other in terms of recruiting, maybe getting somebody else in here to help with the recruiting, make sure that they have ties, somebody with ties to the D.C. area?
Yeah, so I'm in the process now of getting with our entire staff, Mike as well as everyone else on the staff, to kind of go through where we're at and update them on that. I want the staff to keep working right now and just doing what they're doing. They've obviously done a heck of a job. They're putting together a really good recruiting class and built relationships, and I don't want that to just be cut off and stop. And then Mike as well as everyone else will be evaluated, and we'll go through that process as we go.
DJ Bruce Posner from CBS Sports Radio in Baltimore. You obviously know about the tremendous relationship that Maryland has with Under Armour. How excited are you to work with Under Armour in the growth of Maryland?
Yeah, I think it's one of those unique relationships in the country. I mean, maybe one other one that would be similar. So yeah, absolutely, it's a great selling point for recruiting. It's a great selling point for myself and other coaches to join this program and be a part of it. And I think, that's one of those things we'll continue to grow and cultivate that and work that as we go down the road. All right, guys, thank you.